It makes sense when you're trying to achieve your goals to get your priorities in the right order. Now, of course, sometimes getting your priorities in order is easy. Do you want to pay that stack of bills and pay the rent and keep a roof over your head, or do you want to go and buy that new smartphone? I would think that most people would decide that while heart might say buy the new smartphone, head says, well, you've got to pay the bills first. So in a way, some decisions, some priorities, it's pretty much a no-brainer. But other times it can be difficult and things might seem to be equally weighted. So what should you do first? And how can you tell? Well, one way that you can tell is to use Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a psychological theory proposed by Abraham Maslow in his 1943 paper, A Theory of Human Motivation, which was published in Psychological Review. And Maslow subsequently extended the idea to include his observations of humans' innate curiosity. And he did this by observing famous people like Albert Einstein and how they made decisions and that sort of thing. He decided not to look at people who are mentally ill, like a lot of people were doing in the psychological field at that time. He wanted to look at what normal, healthy, well-adjusted, successful people did and how they were able to make the right decisions on a consistent basis. And his theories parallel many other theories of human developmental psychology, some of which focus on describing the stages of growth in humans. And Maslow used the terms physiological, safety, belongingness and love, esteem, self-actualization, and self-transcendentance to describe the pattern that human motivations generally move through. And often this is described in a pyramid. So let's just take a look at that. Now, what you have a pyramid, and at the bottom, the basis of it, you have your physiological needs. These are the things that everybody needs basically to live. If you don't have these, you'll probably die. Things like air, water, food, clothing and shelter, sex, sleep, bodily functions, etc. Now, with the exception of sex, you need all of these to stay alive. And of course, human beings need to procreate to keep the whole thing going. After all, if nobody had sex, mankind would die out. So you do need that for the benefit of mankind, and you do need all the others to actually keep your own body and soul connected. So that's the basis. That's the foundation upon which everything else is built. So you must have all of those before you go on to get anything else. So that is the primary need, the thing that you need most of, and getting those should be your number one priority. The next level is the safety level. Now, when we're talking about safety, we're talking about things like personal security, financial security, health, and well-being. So it means that you want to be somewhere where you're going to be free from harm. You want to make sure that you have a well-paid job or a good source of income, either business or a pension, something that you know that you're not going to be worried about money all the time. It's your health. It's perhaps having enough health insurance so that you know that if you do fall ill, you're going to be able to pay the bills. And it's just sort of general well-being, things that you know that you can sleep at night without all these things on your mind. So that's the second level at the bottom of the pyramid here. At the next level is love and belonging, which he called belongingness. And these are things like friendship, sexual intimacy, and family. So they're, the things that make life worth living, the things that make life good. At the next level, we have esteem. And this covers things like self-esteem, self-respect, respect of or from others, and confidence. And these are the things that will actually alter your mindset, really, to make you feel good, to make you appear good to others. And these are things that everybody needs to make themselves more mentally happy. And then finally, at the top of the original pyramid, you had self-actualization. And that includes things like morality, creativity, spontaneity, problem solving, lack of prejudice, acceptance of the facts. And these really are things that, if it came to it, you could probably live without. But it really is the sort of thing that does make life somewhat more harmonious and makes you more confident, more relaxed, etc. Now, that was the original pyramid. That was the original things that Maslow's thought about. Later on, he added another layer, which is self-transcendence, which includes things like altruism or spirituality. And that's sort of something that you would concentrate on if you had the time or if you had the resources, but it's not as important in life as some of the more basic physiological needs being met. So you would then, in deciding what your priorities should be, would see what sort of category the decision that you're needing to make between various things would fall into. So if it's something that's more basic, if it's something that's going to meet your physiological needs, then obviously that is going to take precedence over self-actualization or self-transcendental needs. So these are the sort of things that you need to think about when you have to make a decision and you're not sure. Think about what sort of category that decision is going to fall into, and obviously the further down the pyramid, the more important it is. And when you bear these in mind, getting your priorities in order becomes easy.